Good morning, guys. Welcome to FYI. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for starting the day with us. Thank you, folks, for starting the day the right way with us. What are you guys having for breakfast this morning? Pull up a cup of something for us. Pull up a brew of hot coffee, maybe some Milo tea, some coffee tea, some however you want to have it, folks. However you want to have your tea. We're happy that you folks are here with us. Privileged to have you guys on already before us. Some of you, Dolly Anderson and Beatrice Selby. How you folks are doing out there? How are you doing, Dolly? How are you doing, Beatrice? Karen, how are you? Folks, we want to say good morning, good morning. I'm so thankful for yet another day. Yet another day, folks. The Father spared us. Yet another day. We got a lot to be grateful for. You know what we always ask as soon as you guys come on? Share the live, smash that emoji button. Privileged are we, folks, to have Yvonne Ramasar here with us very early. Good morning, Yvonne. How are you doing? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Respect and manners, as we say. Respect and manners. If the mic wasn't going to thump, I was going to thump my chest real hard. Respect and manners. To all of you, folks, we're so happy to have you guys here. And we're ensuring that we are shared to all the right places. And we encourage that you wonderful, beautiful folks do the same. So great to have you folks out front. Out front, we got a lot of things happening in our world. A lot of things happening in our world. And folks, I saw one of the relatives of the late Robert Nesta Marley on the occasion of what would have been, I think, his 70 plus birthday, quoting one of his songs quite recently on social media. So much trouble in the world. Indeed, folks. So much trouble in this world of ours. It's good to have each and every one of you. Ayabo Natasha Congress, thank you so much. Ayabo has made a contribution to our program, and that is going to help us a very marked faraway. Natasha, thank you so much for that contribution, Natasha. And the whole world can see it because it's right there on YouTube. Folks, on YouTube, you can contribute directly to our platform, directly to our program, fan funding. We thank you guys so much. At the bottom of the comments on YouTube, there is a dollar sign there. You take it from there. If you're in the diaspora, that is. It makes it so much easier for you guys to contribute right on our platform there on YouTube. And I see, who is it? Dolly is reminding me, would have been his 78th birthday, and his family, they were reminding us, so much trouble in the world. So much trouble in the world. Yeah. So much trouble in the world. Yep. We're going to be covering some of it at our end. But guys, welcome. Wherever you folks are joining us from. Ayabo showing off herself now. Ayabo showing off herself with the contributions. Guys, we're so happy. We're so privileged. Each and every one of you are here with us. How are you guys doing? Lynn Fernandez and Lena Williams. Shauna, how are you doing, Shauna? Yep. Yolanda Thomas has just joined Ayabo in contributing to our program live on YouTube. I know some of y'all fast, y'all want to see now for yourself. Thank you guys so much. It means the world to us. And say hi to your mom too, Ayabo, and tell her thanks. And respect and manners. I feel like ringing the bell. But good to have you folks here. We got quite a few things to get through, folks. This morning, we are privileged that you guys are here. And we're set, we're fired up and ready to go, ready to head into the morning papers, ready to give you guys a sense of what's happening out there in the world. So much trouble in the world, Bob Marley says. So much. Wonderful song. We're about to head into the morning papers, folks. We give you guys a second or two to share the live, to smash that emoji button, to come on and go down the road with us. We give you guys a chance to do precisely that. Folks, and you know what? As we're here, and those of you who are going to come back and watch us, I want to encourage you folks. If you need a good form, right? You need a good law firm, right? Well, in particular, rather, you need a good commissioner of oaths to affidavit. Let me say it correctly. You need a commissioner of oaths to affidavit. You need a justice of the peace. I want to recommend the Alistair Collins firm. He is a superb commissioner of oaths to affidavits and a justice of the peace as well. And I want to recommend him. If you have those needs, good folks, I want to recommend his service to you wonderful folks. We recommend here nothing but the best. Nothing but the very, very, very best. And I want to recommend his firm to you guys. If you need, of course, a commissioner of votes affidavit and a justice of the peace, get the answers you need, folks, from Alistair. He understands what he's doing. He's a commissioner of votes affidavits, a justice of the peace, and provides expert guidance and support for all your documentation needs. And they're open Monday to Saturday, believe it or not. I'm happy about that. Monday to Saturday at the Carrion Mall, Lamaha Street, between Camp and Waterloo. 649-6410. And you see there's another number there as well. We recommend them, folks. We recommend them for all of your needs in this regard. Justice of the Peace, a commissioner of votes to affidavit, and we are ready, if you guys are, to head on into the morning papas. We are ready, guys. Welcome, welcome. If you're now joining us, guys, wherever you're joining us from, welcome, wherever you're coming through from. Loretta, we see you there. Good to have you, Loretta. We see you there. Yolanda Thomas, we see you there. Sheila Boyd-Child, Beatrice Selby, Clifton, we see you there as well. Joy Koja, Clifton Smith, Finn Nicholson, Dolly Anderson, we see you as well. I see Dolly asking if some folks tuned into work last night. Folks, I went home dog tired, but I ain't gotta go and check back now to see what happened. I ain't gotta go and check back now, Yolanda Thomas, to see what happens, to see what check-ups. Chanel Wilson, I gotta go and see what happened last night. Ingrid Crawford, we see you there. We see you there, folks. Thanks for joining us. We're ready to head into the morning papers, folks, and touch on some of those headlines that are making the morning papers this side of the Atlantic. And we always say, whatever's making the headlines close to your end, do let us know, good folks. Do let us know. Let me know. We want to know. We fast. So drop a couple headlines, perhaps, down there for us, so we can stay posted as well. And Beatrice, this is what they're telling us, A guy said that Vishnu Bishram is right for the India posting of High Commissioner. Is the right man. He's the right man to replace Charandas Prasad. Yeah. A stray dog to coach Charandas. And now Samaru Avatar, in this morning's paper, I think it was a letter to the editor that we saw, with this header: Dr. Vishnu Bishram is the right man for India. And he seemed to, the author of this letter to the editor, proposes the idea that Kaulasar, Sesnarayan Kaulasar, former Minister of Finance, am I calling his name right? And now he's an advisor on finance to the government of Ghana. Apparently he was asked to fill the big shoes of Charandas Prasad, and he turned down the posting. You see, Kaulasar understand. Getting post to India, what it means. India is the largest democracy on earth in terms of sheer population size. But clearly, this administration don't respect India. You remember they had it's who they had there first? It's Gunraj. Am I calling his name right? Former Minister of Home Affairs. Am I calling it Ronald Gunraj? Am I calling his name correctly? And then you follow up with the ilks of Charandas Prasad. And Gunraj had come under serious scrutiny here for his actions and allegations of misconduct and all of that, misconduct in public office, a whole host of things. He was posted there. So it would strike nobody as odd why Kaulasar, if that bit of news out of Samaru Avatar is correct, turned down the posting. And he is now recommending that Vishnu Bishram, the folks who always the guy who always has an opinion on polling and avid letter writer, he's right to the post. That's one of the things we see in the boarding papers. I wish you luck. Them stray dogs in India dangerous. Dolly, these stray dogs in India dangerous. Gadraj, not Gunraj. Gadraj. Thank you so much, Kishan. I know it was a Raj somewhere there. Ronald Gadraj. He was posted to India. Charandas was posted to India. Right. But stray dogs in India got the better of Charandas. The stray dogs of India got the better of him. And now, Vishnu Bisram, you know, this is I've been hearing this percolating, this Vishnu Bisram name for the India posting. Will he get it? Or will he do like Kaulasar? I can take any place else. India, I ain't going there. Kaulasar. Like you fighting the stray dogs of India? The stray dogs of India. They pose the whole high commissioner, you know. Yeah. Stray dogs got a reputation, folks. The stray dogs of India got a reputation. This is another headline we're following, guys, in the morning papers. Another headline we're following. Yep. You see that there? Yep. Vishnu Bisram, totally is laughing at the writer. Writing in the daily papers, same fellow who is being proffered for High Commissioner to India. He says that it was an uninspiring budget debate. And you can tell me some of what he said is true. Fig Warren, right? And it Cummins, he said Vishnu Bisram, potential candidate, I'm not saying potential High Commissioner, potential candidate for the post of High Commissioner in India. He says that the budget debate was uninspiring. But I want to share with you good folks some other things he said to support his premise that these budget debates were uninspiring, according to him. All right? According to him, uninspiring. And you're going to tell me what you guys think. Uninspiring, he says. Yeah. Uninspiring. Now, I'm going to pull out a paragraph or two from what he said in his letter, some morning, of letters to the editor. He said after a very good delivery, right? After a very good delivery after very good delivery of the budget by the finance minister, Dr. Ashley Singh, the response from both sides was not up to the mark. The response from both sides, I think he really want to knock them boys on the other side, who got really and truly abysmal performance in defending their budgets, right, and bolstering their policy initiatives. I don't know where to get this back from. I don't know. I think it's them. He really want to lash, but remember, he wants the India posting, so he's choosing his words very carefully. He's dancing between the raindrops very, very carefully. He wants that posting. So he's dancing. So hear what he said. He said Ashley did well, right? But the performance, the response from both sides were very poor. He said a professor in a speech class would fail them. Singh was courteous and focused in unveiling the budget, right? And in closing it. Too many debaters strayed from the items of the budget. Too many debaters. Now, I find that is an indictment on government ministers. And they are the ones who are getting monies out of the coffers from the consolidated fund, from taxpayers, from our oil and gas revenues. Well, more oil now than gas. They're full of gas. They're full of hot air. All right. They are the ones who are at the helm of policy initiatives, and that Bisram or anybody should say that, you know, it left a lot to be desired. It's very, very telling that Bisram or anybody should say that. Leaves a lot to be desired. A lot. Leaves a lot to be desired. I wanna capture some more though of what was said. He goes on to say here. Let me try to find my footing. Let me try to find my footing. He said too many debaters straight from the items in the budget. They spoke to everything but what was in the budget. And remember, he said both sides. Now again, I find that's an indictment. He goes on to say some of the MPs, like the Prime Minister, Mark Phillips, Roysdale Ford, Anil Nandalal, Waldo Lawrence, Colin Crowell, Ganesh Maipal, Gail Teixeira, Sherrod Duncan, Ronald Cox, yours truly, Sherry Duncan, Ronald Cox, Susan Rodriguez, Vindhya Prasad, Natasha Singh Lewis, Priya Malik Chan, Prakash Ramjatan, Bishop Edgil, who is Prakash Ramjatan? Kemraj, Bishop Edgil, Amanza Walton, Desir Vikram Bharat, Zulfikar Mustafa, Shuman Indar Deodat, Gita Chandan, and a few others were on point. And a few others were on point. But listen to the button coming now from Bistram. Remember, Bistram won this work. Bistram won this work in India. Bistram won this work in India. So listen to the button coming now. He said the vice president was missed for his usual erudite, penetrating comments, as in the previous budgets. The public commented that they missed his soaring presentation on the state of the economy and growing it. Yeah. Apparently, he says the vice president wanted to stay above the fray. The vice president wanted to stay above the fray, but his PB supporters love to hear him. Well, if that's not buttering up, I don't know. He goes on to say finally that the opposition leader, Aubrey Norton, also delivered some good punchlines in his rebuttal, honing in on the budget rather than on alien issues which characterize the presentations of some of his colleagues. Yeah. You see that buttering up there? That fellow won that position there in India. The fellow won that posting in India real bad. You see that buttering up there, Fig Warren? Wanda Hudson? Yeah. Now, listen to the story now. Fig Warren is recommending Freddie Kissoon for High Commissioner to India. Oh, Lord. How much problems we can take in one lifetime in India? How much embarrassment we can take in one lifetime in India? Maria Vera, how much? How much are we going to take? Yeah, so Bishram, doing his work. Bishram doing his work, folks. Doing his work. Writing his way to India. This is another one of those headlines, folks, we're following in the morning papers today. Another one of those headlines that we are following. And this one says the private sector blisters police over response to Buxton unrest. And this one here, I find a little thingish. This one right here, private sector blisters. Oh, file of mercy, let's drink my little tea here now. Saying that the police did not respond adequately. Now, I have seen protesters in other places in this country block the roads, voicing their concerns and all of that. I've seen them. There were some taxi drivers in Region 6, I think it was, who blocked the roads. Again, because the cost of living was impacting on their pockets. I think they wanted to increase the fare, and the government was adamant they weren't going to do that. Can't remember they ultimately did so. And I didn't remember the private sector blistering the police force for the lack of action. I have seen protesters in other places in this country take to the streets with civil disobedience, and I can't remember the private sector blistering the police over the response to Buxton unrest. Y'all gotta watch that. We gotta watch that. Dolly and Maria, Annette Cummins, Gloria Fraser. We gotta watch that. Blister the police. That's how much blistering the police can take now. How much blistering? And finally, folks, one of the other things we're following in the morning papers, besides the private sector, blistering the police. Police can't sit down now. Blistering the police. This earthquake in Syria and Turkey, we're still following. Folks, now it's estimated about 20,000 people have lost their lives as a result of this 7.8 magnitude earthquake there. Right? And a particular headline in one of the headlines stood out to us. A phrase that said the death toll rises and rescues dwindle. You understand what's happening there? And of course, the further out you get from that initiating event when that earthquake happened, right, the less and less chance of recovering people if people are buried under the rubble and so on. The slimmer the chances are. So I understand, but it's how they phrased it. Their toll rises. Rescues dwindle. They move from rescue to just recovery. And our thoughts and prayers, of course, go out there to the folks of Syria and Turkey, or Turkey, depends on which school you went to. Our thoughts and prayers go out to them. But those are just a couple of the things, folks. Just a couple of the things making the morning papers. We encourage you folks to share the live. Share the live. Smash that emoji button, folks, and partner with us as well. You know, we've been saying and we continue to say, folks, we can't do this work without you all. We just can't. We just can't. And while I'm talking about that, folks, let me encourage you folks who might be joining us on Facebook, and encourage you folks to those folks who are following us, apologies there, on Facebook and Twitter and so on, your Facebook especially, has not been kind to us. So ensure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Ensure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so that we can keep you guys in the know all the time, and you can get the updates as soon as we put them up. You can get those updates. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And folks, can't say enough again either that we depend on your love and your generosity to keep going day after day, month after month. I'm so grateful that because of you guys, we've been able to be out here 2+ years. 2+ years. Because of your lone stick-to-itiveness in helping us and staying with us. And we promise to do the same, to continue to bring valued and credible information as long as we can, as often as we can. 2+ years we're out here. Last time we had a huge audience. You know, y'all ain't going no place. That's what we find. We had about 3,500 people watching us live last evening across our platforms. But 3,500 people. You know, and we're so humbled by that people find some value in what we do here, even if it's to come for a laugh or two, to de-stress and to help cope. We're happy to be a small part of that. And because of your love, your generosity, your contributions, your donations, your fan funding is what they call it. Your fan funding, we're able to do this day after day. And we encourage you guys to partner with us so we can keep doing it. Yep, we're switching the tempo, folks. We're switching the tempo a little bit. We're heading into some of what is happening internationally, some of what is brewing regionally, and also some of what is brewing locally as well. We're going to circle back to some more of the things that are brewing locally as well. And we're heading into the international aspect. We touched on things that are happening internationally. Folks, I really want to say thanks for your love. Thanks for your support. Thanks for your generosity. It means the world to us. It means the world to us. It means the world to us. Thank you guys so much. 2+ years we out here. And I trust we only get better. I trust we don't get worse. I trust we just keep on keeping on. That's my ardent hope. We just keeping on. And we turn our attention now, folks, to some of the things that are brewing internationally. Some of those things that are brewing internationally, we want to draw to your kind attention. Well, folks, and this is one of them. We've been telling you guys about this fella here. We've been telling you guys about George Santos, Republican George Santos, and his colleagues are now coming out against, the embodiment of Santos. He told a lot of lies. People are finding out now during the course of being elected. A lot of lies. And Mitt Romney, who I admire as a Republican, ran for president once, and Nick LaLota, they say he's a sociopath. Lie after lie after lie. He lied with school he went to. He lied about his qualifications. Now this looks familiar. Like he related to he who shall not be named. Followed to UG second year, ended up at some place in Iflat, claiming to have gotten a first degree from an unaccredited institution. Like George trail under these boys. And it's one thing to the next. The GOP finding out the hard way about their colleague George Santos. George Santos seems to be a fiction. Everything about him is made up. Everything about George is made up. Now what they say, he's a sociopath. Nicola Locher and Mitt Romney, sociopath. That's how they characterize Santos. Well, I wish him the best. We wish Santos the best. Moving on, folks. Other things happening internationally. Other things happening internationally, folks. Now, this story stood out to us because here is this former UK minister, Dominic. It's Rab, and several public servants have made allegations against him, and there's an investigation that's ongoing. Yeah. There's an investigation that is ongoing. Now, we're not accustomed to these kind of things. I have seen several credible allegations, Maxine, Donna, against several government ministers. I've seen some conduct very unbecoming in the National Assembly by these same folks. The speaker turned a blind eye and a deaf ear. And clearly their political masters turned a blind eye and a deaf ear as well. You know some names, we've seen the photographs. How a particular fella came up short, circulating on social media. When he gone overseas, instead of doing the government work, he chasing down skirts and so on, and sending all kinds of illicit photographs. Now, allegations were made against Dominic, former minister there in the UK, and an investigation is ongoing. You see, we talk about accountability here. Oh, there's some nice to us, right? We be like how, they probably resound or resonate. We talk about good governance in somebody. Practice of it has been very poor. Very, very poor. Right? But you see in Great Britain, accountability, it means accountability, apparently. Right? We all saw what happened with Boris Johnson. Oh, yes. Oh, you on party during COVID? When there are restrictions on partying? Well, I guess you can't be Prime Minister after all. Right? I guess you can't be Prime Minister after all. We saw how that went. Right? And then when you had Liz Truss, I'm sure you don't forget Liz, who couldn't make up her mind what she wanted to do. Well, I guess you can't stick around. So all these ministers that Vishnu Bishram pointed out didn't present so well for budget to defend their own budget. That's an indictment. Where do people come from? Where do these charlatans come out from? I am surprised when you listen to some of them. Sonia Parag, Charles Ramson. When you listen to them, you got a staff that can help you do research. And this is your presentation. Bishop is right. They talk about everything under the sun but the budget. Everything under the sun but the budget. How they would fare topside by the UK. How? You tell me how them boys would fare topside by the UK. Clearly they wouldn't. Clearly they wouldn't. Moving on, folks. Other things happening internationally. We're still in the UK. Right? But look, organization. Look, organization. All these strike dates. They don't know for February. The government don't know what's coming down the line. Oh, you want to pay people, you want to improve pay, son? Well, we got a couple of strikes coming up. Natasha Ayabo, Mia Miller, all the folks who topside. Look, organization here. We got a little bottom house thing happening at this end, you know. We don't know ourselves here. Them unions are agile. They don't know. These are the strike days down the line. Y'all come up wrong. It's a long time we had a strike. It's a long time. It's giving these guys the wrong impression, you know. That all things bright and beautiful. Yeah, walking on the straight, listening voice, say, boy. Cases, things and work out, we got to fall back. Yeah, giving them the wrong impression, but in the UK, where there's good, keeping them boys on the toe, where there's good governance and so on. Yeah, them boys don't know the strike days coming up. Even Ramasa, base yourself, don't know what's coming down the line. Don't come around with funny. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't come around with funny. We know y'all like that. The fellas don't know what's coming down the chute. They are fully informed what is coming down the chute, folks. Fully informed. Yeah. Fully informed. Right? Can do what you got to do. Kudos to the unions there. The folks are organized. But y'all can tell us. The folks are organized. Right? Can't fault them for that. We're going to take a look. We're going to take a look at some of the things happening around the region, good folks. Apologies there. Let's take a look at some of these things happening around the region. Our apologies there. The number of things happening around the region, we got our eyes on. A number of things. And we started in Trinidad. We started out in Trinidad. Let's turn our attention, good folks, to some of the things that are happening in Trinidad, right from the corner. It's not easy. It's not an easy road. It's true. It's not. Not by a long shot. It's not an easy road. Look at some of the things, folks, brewing next door in Trinidad. A couple of the things. A father and his 10-year-old son, you know, them boys stormed their homes. Yeah. The father was shot in his head and in his chest. The son, who was close by, was shot as well. And though they are not dead, they're in serious condition. They're in a serious condition there. The father shot in his head. And know that Trinidad, like us, wrestling with crime. Wrestling with crime. And in the shows of trying to appoint a commissioner of police there. Wrestling with crime. Shot in his head, you know. And recovering the motive for that attack is not yet known. The motive for that attack. Police still trying to figure out what, outside of it being a robbery, what caused that. 10-year-old child. He was shot in his chest and I think in his back as well. Father, have his mercies. Father, have his mercies. You know, these are the times we gotta stay close to Father. We got to stay close to Father. Shut up in Trinidad. And we like the corridors, Guyana, Trinidad, and then you get up there to Jamaica. Crime, rampant. As in the Caribbean, this happened going down in St. Kitts and Nevis. They got a budget coming up. They got a budget coming up. St. Kitts and Nevis, a budget. February 20th, and we're going to be having our ears to the ground. Because, like, it's only here we really came with public servants and so on. Public servants get the short end of the stick. We told you guys last night. In Barbados, they're extending a 6 months price freeze. Look at it from that way. On countless items that households depend on. Countless items, a price freeze. The government is doing all it can. But like, it's only here like Winky. Too much. You know, it's all about the big projects. We didn't care too much of people starving. It's all about the big projects. You see? It's all about the big projects. And while that's happening, folks, while that's happening there in St. Kitts and Nevis, in Antigua, right? You gotta get, maybe we should have started here, you gotta bounce in Antigua first before you get to St. Kitts and Nevis. In Antigua, they got their own trouble. Now, this former member of parliament lost his seat in his constituency. They got that kind of system, a constituency system, a real representative system as against the list. Lennox Weston, he lost his seat. He says Gaston Brown is the problem. Yep. And he's been very, very vocal of late, and this is causing a lot of consternation there in his party. Right? He's a member of the ruling party, the Gaston Brown party. He says Gaston fault. He said because Gaston out there talking about everything else under the sun, but the track record of his government. He's not doing a very good job. That's what he's saying. Promoting the work of the government. He's on social media a lot. As a matter of fact, he's recommending that the Prime Minister stay off social media. He said because the Prime Minister getting the worst of the problem on social media, but he's not really pushing the successes of the government and the agenda of the government via social media. I was on radio talking and getting into some controversial issues, but not really pushing. And that was partly responsible, he said, for his loss in his constituency. Yeah, yeah. See, Gaston, come up the radio a little bit because you're really using it to the benefit of the people. That's what he said. That is what he said. That's Antigua. So much trouble in the world, folks. You think it's only we here? So much trouble in the world. We tell you all. So much. So much. And then when the 592. No, we're in the 592 already. Guys, don't jump us so far. Gaston himself. No, this one. We like when the humanity shines forth. So in Antigua, you got the former MP on the one side, abusing out Gaston, and the radio too much talking nonsense, getting problems. And you're not pushing the agenda of the government, pushing the success, and let people know government is working for them. See up the radio, Gaston. Well, the cabinet there in Antigua recently said it's likely, folks, to allow Africans to come there and live and work, giving them residency and permission to work. African refugees, that is. And we know we've been shunning people from Haiti. You know, the higher your complexion, the better for you. You know the truth. The higher the complexion, the better for you. We've been shunning. You got a little high complexion, all is well and good. All is well and good. But the people from Haiti, we're trying to run them out. We're trying to run them out. Brown, Gaston Brown, recently elected with a very slim majority. All of that Western talk about as being responsible. So Brown talking a whole set of stuff wholly on social media, but he's not talking about the things that matter. They just gone back in. I think they had the folks who are joining us from Antigua, they had a six seat lead. They got a 1 seat lead now. 1 seat majority, like the PPP. And Western says, it's all these antics of the PM on social media. It's responsible for that. But I'll give them their props, you know, for seeing people in need and coming to the rescue of them. And Antigua signaling, the cabinet of Antigua signaling that African refugees could be given residency and permission to work on the island. Yeah. I think it's a beautiful place, you know. Antigua is a beautiful, fantastic place. Beautiful, fantastic place. And that's some of what we're seeing on that side, good folks. And as you know, because you don't see people the can already, we're going to be turning our attention to some of what folks happening in the 592. That's where we're turning our attention next. To the things that are happening in the 592. Folks, take the opportunity quick. Share the like, smash the emoji button. I can take a sip of my coffee. You know, there's some people who got a problem with me drinking a little tea on the show. People got a problem with everything. Got a problem with everything. Some people got a problem with us drinking the tea on the show. Yeah, they got a problem with everything. Well, we're in the 592, folks. We're in the 592. And look, like I talked too quick. Because look, story here now. Didn't even know this was here. Look, story here now. Now, FYI, recently addressing the Ghana Defense Force, says that they have to be cognizant. They got to be cognizant of what is happening in Haiti. The top brass must understand, the headline reads, the security challenges in Haiti. Now, Haiti has been institutionally, I think, underdeveloped, to use a word from Dr. What's his name? I'm seeing him. Dr. Rodney. Underdeveloped, you know. That's partly responsible, attributed rather to its colonial heritage. And then you had some governments didn't do it too many favors too. But Haiti is part of CARICOM. And my contention is simple. If CARICOM can't fix Haiti's GDF tabras, must be cognizant of them. Right? If installed or outstalled, he's the head of government. What has CARICOM done for Haiti? You want to put a burden on the GDF? Right? Not even an army, but a force. You want to put a burden on GDF? What has you and your colleagues done politically for Haiti? You see, you can pass the buck. Well, it's a GDF problem now. Beryl, Dolly Anderson. What has the political establishment in CARICOM done for Haiti? Don't come wrong, we funny. What have they done for Haiti? Right? You know this, I saw them say, oh, they're not going to study the situation in Haiti. That was a headline a day or two ago. They're going to study the situation in Haiti. Well, look, story here. What's trouble now? They're going to study. Moving on, folks. Moving on. Well, the rice farmers complaining still. Right. Weather woes, white flies, infrastructure. That's the one that stood out to us. I thought with the billions we poured into this budget over the last 4 budget cycles, we will have fixed every road in this country by now. The farmers, the weather. Global warming is what it is. Some of them big countries that want to play their role. They expect us to be the lungs of the world. That's another story. You got the white flies, but the infrastructure. Them boys balling out. So that's what Bishop doing really, man. You see, it's the photo ops, you know. Bishop got a camera, he running a school. You see, he got to abuse up a contractor, and you think that's leadership. But the farmer saying the infrastructure, we ain't getting for oil, we ain't getting for plant. The weather probably back, the white flies probably foot. And then y'all ain't helping. Right? Y'all not helping. That's what the folks say. The infrastructure needs some work. Yeah. And y'all know rights going. If it's gone, as a matter of fact, we saw, and we've told you guys, Sabak News in a real good editorial recently said rice in the same boat with sugar. And you know where the boat going? Boat gonna fall. Rice ain't coming back. That's what Sabak News said in that editorial. Yeah. The farmers crying out, infrastructure, weather, and other plagues on the industry, including the PPP. Yep. Moving on, folks, other things we're following. Mucker Market Day coming back, folks. Gotta be part of that. February 19th. Gotta be part of that. Get some good produce. People planting in their backyard, planting on the farms and so on. That's going to be available. February 19th. Put on the calendar, folks. Make it a day to go in Mucker. Do some marketing, fresh vegetables, and you get your eggs, your little chicken. Well, you know, they mow down a lot of people who are planting, right? They destroy a lot of homes and a lot of people who were cultivating livestock and so on there. We didn't forget that. We didn't forget that. But through it all, we're happy to see the folks of Mecca keeping on. We're happy to see that. We're going to put on our calendar February 19th, market day, folks. Okay, fresh vegetables. Such and so forth. Such and so forth with Exxon. You see, it's nice time for Exxon. Profits soaring. President of the US condemning them for these huge profits they're making at the expense of poor nations like us. Well, Rutledge, CEO, Exxon in Guyana, he said this, renegotiating the contract, the PSA of 2016, the production sharing agreement of 2016. He said renegotiating that would be to the detriment, destructive, he says, to investor confidence. Why would I want to make less money? Renegotiating it would be destructive, disruptive, not in the best interest of investor confidence. And then there's a particular issue that Ganesh Paul was on recently and still on hot on the tracks. Who paid for this new headquarters in Ogle there? Well, Rutledge says recently, you and me, we can be paying for it. Taxpayers of Guyana will be paying for Exxon Mobil and this executive live nice. Live nice in Ogle. And we are here struggling. And they don't want to renegotiate the PSA of 2016. We got paid for what's happening there at Ogle, the big sprawling expanse of a headquarters in Guyana. They want us to pay for that. Well, we spoke with Ganesh Paul very recently before this admission by the chief executive of Exxon, before this admission. And he told us a couple of things, folks, we want to share with you. Take a look and take a listen what Ganesh told us. MP, Member Parliament Ganesh Paul, when we spoke on this very issue of the headquarters there at Ogle.
Exxon Mobil is currently constructing their office campus at Ogle, in the Ogle Airport area, the land there that they acquired. I think it's about 15 acres of land. And this is a mega project that they're building. But what the Guyanese people must know is that the cost of this project is within the cost recoverable, meaning that when Exxon is finished building this campus or they're finished constructing this mega structure, whatever is the cost for this project, the Guyanese people will have to pay for it from their share of the oil wealth. And what that does is that it reduces our profits towards other infrastructure development. Now, that's not a bad thing in the sense that they are, and what is not a bad thing is the fact that they're offsetting the expense of this building. It will become the property of Guyanese. We will own it and so on. My problem, however, what is the monitoring mechanism that we as a country have in place to ensure that Exxon is not bloating the prices? Like if we know $200 for a steel rod, how do we know that Exxon is not buying it for $500? If we know that a sling of cement is $100,000, how do we know that Exxon is not purchasing it at $500,000? We need to have better monitoring mechanism in place, real-time monitoring to see what are the actual expenses that Exxon incur for these projects, so that when it comes to Guyanese repaying, it must not be that we are taken advantage of. And we have been getting too many complaints as representatives of the people where Exxon is basically abusing the privilege of spending loosely much to the dissatisfaction of the Guyanese taxpayers. Can you imagine, and I made reference to this, if there are 3 expatriates, and this is just a scenario for my viewers and my listeners to get a clearer understanding. If you have 3 expatriates who have to attend a very important meeting at the Pegasus Hotel, and they are somewhere in Ogle, and one decided that he's going to take the helicopter and fly from Ogle to Pegasus. The other one decides that he's going to take a taxi from Ogle to Pegasus. And the other one decides that he is going to go along with a cheaper taxi. Whatever is the cost that all 3 of them incur, that is the cost that we Guyanese will have to pay. Why is it that all 3 of them could not come together and say we're all going to the same function, let all 3 of us jump into a cab, and let all 3 of us go to the Pegasus Hotel at cheaper cost, and the Guyanese people foot the bill, they get to attend a very important meeting. We love the fact that they went to the very important meeting, but the cost that is associated to it is one that is market price and understanding to the Guyanese people. But when you have them spending loosely, anyhow they want, one can use a helicopter, one can use an aeroplane, and they can do as they please with no monitoring mechanism, we are being shafted with that. And I am therefore saying that the Guyanese people deserve monitoring and evaluation committee. They need to have real-time monitoring. And real-time monitoring doesn't necessarily mean day-to-day of the expenses, but at least monthly. We should know what are the expenses. We should be able to monitor it against market price and draw the conclusion whether Exxon is taking advantage of us or if they're not taking advantage of us. But we don't have no mechanism like that right now in place. And because of that, we are finding ourselves having extreme expenses that are basically not controllable because of Exxon's behavior. I call on the government to put measures in place to safeguard the monies that belong to the Guyanese people.
Yep. Well, since Ganesh and I sat down and spoke about things Exxon, the company has now come out to say that yes, the Guyanese taxpayers, right, the Guyanese people will be paying for their spanking new, how much ever, $100 million headquarters there in Ogle. You and I, when we can get a little oil money in we pocket. That's what I want to know. When we get a little oil money in our pocket. When? When we can get our share of the oil money? When? Our fund parts? When? We got to stay on the trail. Got to stay on the tracks, folks. Got to stay on the tracks. Some other things happening. The 592 good folks want to say congrats to Saul. Opened a good-looking gas station there on Mandela Avenue. Congrats. This is a $2.8 million US venture. And it says lifted the what do you call that? The ambience of that piece of real estate there on Mandela Avenue. I'm certain the people of Go Slow, the people of Meadowbrook and Mandela Avenue there would be very, very thankful for that. The place looks good, and this is where they used to have that old dump site years ago. Years ago, that piece of real estate was a dump site. And then they moved from there after they closed it and decommissioned it. They moved to Higgs Bosch. And now there is Chai Express and some other eateries there. And now you have Saul open this sleek, as they say, sleek-looking gas station on Mandela Avenue. But we got to find better uses in the Prime Minister than just cutting ribbons. Meaningful. We got to find meaningful work for Mark Phillips than just cutting ribbons. You know, more than just cutting ribbons. More than that. Yeah, more than that. But congrats to the folks in Saul. Congrats on that. Moving on, folks. Look like Roy fighting Khaled now. Remember I told you how that operations manager temporary position created and filled by the chairman of GCOM. Created and filled by the chairman of GCOM, operations manager. Right? And after the report said when she heard all sides of the argument, after the deal was done, the appointment was made, she rescinded the appointment. She changed her mind. She changed her mind. Well, in a letter to the editor, Clement Rowe, he seemed to suggest, right, that this move by the chair fits in well with opposition designs. Well, I mean, this is one of the rare times Clement might have, I don't even want to say sided. Perhaps when she thought about her own actions and those actions being challenged in the court, she stepped back. Right? She rescinded the position, dismantled the position, and now Clement seemed to have come out swinging. He said it fits into the designs of the opposition, the chairman's decision. And he like that. He don't like that, of course. He don't like that. In this one again, he doesn't like that. Moving on, folks. Moving on. Want to say congrats to all of the students who excelled at CXC recently and were honored by CXC. You want to say respect and manners to them. Respect and manners to them. You know, they work hard. Right? People work hard. We must celebrate them. And I hope by the time these guys finish, you know, they go off and study higher education or they stay and they want to work, there is meaningful employment for them. I'm here to see students who are excelling 15, 20, 25 subjects. You got to go and cut grass at some police station in a part-time work. Because them boys not doing at the policy level what they should be doing. I'm here to see that. Here to see that a lot. A lot. But congrats to them. Nonetheless, they've done well. They put in the work, you know. Put in the work. And you know, part of what we don't often discuss is the private lessons that come back to benefit. And the parents too. The parents and the private lessons. All right? But the education system formally gets the all the kudos. All the kudos. Congrats to them nonetheless. You've done well. Take a bow, guys. Take a bow. You've done well. Moving on, folks, on things we're covering. In the 592, we told you, right? The guys arguing about infrastructure, right? 4 budgets later, billions of dollars poured into infrastructure. Every drain should be cleaned, every canal dug, every dam good for use, every road, the smooth to blood. That's the case. The old boy, cute Zulfi, he run out, promising the folks at Canal Pole better drainage. 4 budgets later. Moving on, folks. I want to get vexed. I don't want to get vexed. Kit Nascimento commented recently on the cross-examination by Nigel Hughes of the folks who would have implicated Roxanne Myers in one way or the next in shenanigans at GCOM during the protracted period of our last elections. Right? Now, nobody can call Nascimento name. Oh, when you get a certain age, go your little card in the man and breeze out. Right? Go your little card and breeze out the man. Well, Nascimento run out. He ran out to comment. He said, quite frankly, if I were one of those witnesses, I would point blank refuse to be examined by Hughes. I am not a lawyer. Well, don't say that. I'm not a lawyer, but surely the decision by the commission can hardly be regarded as fair and just. There's a lot of fair and unjust things happening in this society. Why only this one, Nascimento run out on? Why only this one? Huh? Why only this one? Man, we get down in the age. Let me cool out the man. Let me cool out the man. You know, and I want to be respectful to big people. So I can leave this one here. I want to be respectful to old people. So I can leave this one here. I can leave this one. He said he would not be cross-examined by Hughes. He wouldn't stand up to be cross-examined by Hughes. Right? You wouldn't withstand the scrutiny. If you made statements that in some way impugn the character of Roxanne Myers, despite the fact she's not giving testimony, why can't they be cross-examined in this democracy, in this age of accountability and good governance? Why can't they be cross-examined? to test the veracity of their statements. Why? Government said that Meyer stopped him and told him, don't go X place. But he didn't say that he didn't have the security clearance to go, but he wanted to go to the third floor, but he had a security clearance. He didn't tell me that. But in the cross-examination, we find out. You see, you could have an opinion, you can know how strong that point of view is, but it is challenged, the veracity of it is challenged. He said he would not subject himself to be cross-examined. So you want to talk what you want to talk, but you don't want the veracity of it to be tested. Okay then. Move on smartly. Move on smartly. Peeping Tom. Peeping Tom. You think it's only Bisram came out and them ministers of government? Peeping Tom in that budget debate. Peeping Tom in today's Kaitro News. Got a couple ideas as well. Peeping Tom in today's Kaitro News. Peeping Tom says he's hitting at this presidential outreach. You know, governance by presidential outreaches. Peeping Tom, not up to FC. That's why I like to use quote unquote independent sources. And if you read Peeping Tom's column, I read Peeping Tom's column now the way I used to read Freddie Kissoon. Before Freddie gave old and dotish. Right? And Freddie gave old age a bad name. Before he gave dotish. Peeping Tom said this. If you're an avid reader of Peeping Tom's column, you know Peeping Tom is no friend of Abdu FC. So in his own deliberate judgment, in Peeping Tom's own deliberate judgment, Peeping Tom said the idea of taking presidential outreaches to every region cannot be a substitute for public sector reform. It is because of the problems in the public sector, people cannot access basic services. They got to tell Irfan when you come to the village, oh, I ain't get my NIS yet. Oh, my pipeline not working. Oh, I need X. Oh, this ain't working. Oh, that working. Oh, GPL. Peeping Tom is making the very important point. There needs to be public sector reforms so that people can engage the benefits of being citizens outside of presidential outreaches. And it's a very important point. But you see, we want to keep people dependent. You see? But reform, where if I know a big auntie in my community, house little thingish, I go and sign up with Men on Mission to let them come and fix your bridge or your fence. No, you gotta wait when the Irfan passing by and touch the heavy garment. You gotta wait till the Irfan passing by. Peeping Tom says it's not a good way. These presidential outreaches is no substitute for public sector reforms. Unfortunately, under the present PPPC government, this process has stalled public sector reform. It has stalled. All we keep hearing, Peeping Tom says, in respect to public service ministry, all we keep hearing in respect to the public service ministry is scholarships, scholarships, scholarships. Them boys come in, Marlon Larimer, Naomi Drucker, Rajin, Datadin, they dismantle the public service training school. Isn't that so? Where we were seeking to professionalize our young people, you know, coming into the public service, dismantle it with nothing to replace it. Peeping Tom in his own deliberate judgment said, I'll be hearing out of the public sector. The Ministry of the Public Service, rather. It's scholarships, scholarships, scholarships. Did anyone hear the phrase public sector reform during the budget debates? I tell you, Parak talk about everything under the sun except policies and strategies, public sector reform. Everything except those issues. Everything under the sun except those issues. You see, when we say it, oh yeah, I'll say, we just bad. We just bad. But here people are making the same point. Making the same point. Pim, pim. Pim, pim. But the biggest issue, folks, yesterday in the press conference by the leader of the opposition, leader of the opposition, Robert Norton, he showed us it's the same old PPP we're dealing with. They can tell you public sector reform, infrastructure. You see, it's friends, family, and favorites. Friends, family, and favorites. And the leader of the opposition also made the point that the Procurement Commission, as the headline read by News Source, gonna show some fight against corruption. A set of contracts and contractual works substandard, but it sees friends and family and favorites. Why should one supporter of PPP get 500,000 grand as a small businessman? Another business people get 150. Friends, family, and favorites. Yep, that's what's going down in this place, folks. You gotta be a friend, a family, or a favorite. Here is Mr. Norton during the course of his press conference yesterday, pointing out it's the same old PPP. Nothing changed but them buys. Nothing changed. Take a look and take a listen. Our apologies for the quality of the video and the audio, folks. Apologies. But take a look and take a listen. Take a look, take a listen.
The 2023 capital budget must be spent with strict financial oversight and follow the procurement law. The government has produced a budget without measures to address poverty, the high cost of living, high inflation, and high level of unemployment. The focus of the budget is on infrastructural development, which is needed, but is done in a way to facilitate widespread corruption. In the light of the foregoing, there's need for A, strict financial oversight to minimize fraud and waste, and B, a public procurement system that ensures equity and rewards a wider range of citizens in our society. For 2023, the government has allocated Guyana $388 billion for capital expenditure. Most of this money will be spent on infrastructure projects such as roads and public buildings. Guyanese should be aware that almost all of the Guyana $388 billion will be filtered through the public procurement system. In other words, through contracts to be awarded by government, ministries, state agencies, and regional democratic councils. Against this backdrop, there is need for the government to put in place measures to A, to minimize corruption and financial mismanagement, and B, to ensure equitable allocation of contracts across groups in the society. A, measures to minimize corruption and financial mismanagement. The coalition delivered quality infrastructure at a much lower cost than the present PPP regime. The revelation by Member of Parliament David Patterson during his budget presentation indicated that the PPP road contracts are costing taxpayers $40 million per kilometer more than under the coalition government. This highlights the crisis of corruption and financial mismanagement in the public procurement system at present. This should not be left unchecked, since the crisis will worsen. The Guyanese people will get fewer and fewer returns relative to the money invested in capital projects. In public spending, citizens must always demand cost minimization, efficiency or output maximization, and effectiveness or full attainment of the intended results. This does not occur under the PPP. The government has thus far failed to inform the nation of any intention to stem the hemorrhaging of public funds through fraud and financial mismanagement. From all indications, it seems more comfortable being a facilitator and a co-conspirator in the abuse of the people's money as the government pursues its policy of enriching its elites, families, friends, and favorites. The people of Guyana must therefore raise their voices in outrage. There must be greater oversight and accountability. The Public Procurement Commission must get off its rump and fulfill its mandate. The Guyana Constitution, Article 212 AA, empowers the Commission to, I quote, monitor the performance of procurement bodies with respect to adherence to regulations and efficiency in procuring goods and services and execution of works, unquote. And, I quote, to investigate cases of irregularity and mismanagement and propose remedial action, unquote. As an independent constitutional body, the Commission must now not allow the government to thwart the fulfillment of its responsibility to the people. It must urgently get its act together. In addition, the Office of the Auditor General must conduct value for money audits for large projects, not only after construction, but also during construction. There are now too many infrastructure projects which are too expensive, behind schedule, poorly constructed, and in the hands of contractors with little or no experience. A classic case of this is the Bamia Amelia's Ward Primary School contract, awarded to persons from the entertainment industry with no experience in construction. Their only claim to fame is their close links to the corrupt PPP regime. The APNU-AFC during the budget debate 2023 advocated for a people-centered development strategy in which the resources of our country should benefit the people. Unfortunately, this is not the case with this government, since no action is being taken to ensure the entire $388 billion capital budget for 2023 benefits the people of Guyana. B, measures to ensure equitable allocation of contracts. The stark imbalance in the award of government contracts must now be addressed to ensure a wider cross-section of Guyanese individuals and businesses can benefit as contractors. There is no denying the obvious fact that only a narrow section of the population benefits overwhelmingly from contract awards. This unacceptable situation has been allowed to continue unrestricted for too long and has become self-perpetuating. These acts of political and ethnic discrimination in the awarding of contracts are unacceptable. Let it be recalled that the award of government contracts was an issue dealt with in the constitutional reform process that emanated from the Herdmanston Accord, meaning that in the aftermath of the 1997 election and public protests, the award of contracts with the attendant discrimination and exclusion was explicitly identified by all stakeholders as a matter of central importance for race relations, social justice, and equal opportunity in Guyana. The 1999 Constitutional Reform Commission agreed, therefore, to establish the Public Procurement Commission as a body with constitutional powers to address this national problem. While in government, the APNU plus AFC established the commission and allowed it to carry out its constitutional mandate. Unfortunately, over the decades, through various machinations by the PPP, the commission has been prevented from delivering on its mandate. This is the case at present. The Public Procurement Commission must work towards building a contract award system that, while remaining fair and competitive, can at the same time include special measures to correct previous discrimination and injustices by opening the door for wider participation from underrepresented groups. In this way, the distribution of the country's economic wealth can promote social and economic justice and inclusion across ethnic, religious, gender, political, and social lines. Government must release all documents on the gas to energy project. At our press conference on the 12th January 2023, we alerted the nation that under the under the table manner in which the government is embarking on the gas to energy project, if not exposed and resisted, opens the door to hundreds of billions of dollars being continuously spent on infrastructure projects unlawfully and unconstitutionally. Further, we warn that the project rests in the hands of Vice President Barry Jack Deo, who is the subject of credible allegations of bribery and corruption and influence peddling, and who has a string of failed projects on his resume that have cost Guyanese billions of dollars. We intend, therefore, to remain relentless in our demand for the government to release all contracts and agreements on the gas to energy project. Already, through our members of Parliament, Mrs. Valda Lawrence, Ganesh Maipal, we have submitted questions and a motion to the National Assembly. We have since submitted a second motion calling on the National Assembly to mandate the Parliamentary Select Committees on Natural Resources and Economic Services to jointly review the project documents with the assistance, if necessary, of financial and other relevant experts. The AP and UAFC were the initiators of the gas to energy project, and therefore we have no problem with the idea in principle. The project, if it is based on a proper feasibility study, a thorough environmental impact assessment, and properly implemented, could be transformative and deliver cheap and reliable electricity to households, factories, and other businesses. Unfortunately, there is no such feasibility in environmental impact studies, and therefore one is only left to conclude that this is going to be another failed project and the waste of billions of taxpayer dollars by the Vice President and the PPP regime. In addition, this project is now severely jeopardized by the secrecy surrounding it, the lack of consultation, and by the egotism and incompetence of Barry Jack Deo. This is the jeopardy we must all try to avert.
Thank you.
Yep, friends, family, and favorites, folks. Friends, family, and favorites. So we got to do more. We got to do more. I couldn't put it better than the leader of the opposition, Mr. Aubrey Norton, put it there. Couldn't put it any better. That's going to do it for our time with you guys this morning. It's been a privilege being here with you. We've gone a little bit over the hour. We've gone a little bit over, folks, but we want to thank you for sticking with us, for being here with us. Jolly Anderson and Out Front Pass. Rafiq Mohammed, want to thank you for being here. Good to see Maxine Monroe here with us as well. Good to see Roderick. Good to see each and every one of you. Folks, before you go, share the like, smash that emoji button, and show your partner with us too so we can keep it on. You know how we do it, guys, because of your love and your support. We've been out here 2 years and counting. We thank you, folks. We thank you. That's going to do it for us. We're going to be back with the podcast during the course of lunch. We're going to be on the podcast, guys. And then we're going to be back this evening in the ring. Find it out, but we'll be below the belt at 12. Then we're in the ring at 8 tonight. Have a fantastic rest of the day, folks. Take no prisoners. Have a fantastic rest of the day. That's going to do it for us at this time, good folks.